Alright, so I posted this video on Instagram and it got thousands and thousands of... You know, let's just watch the video first. That is not how that's supposed to happen. But I'm okay. Alright, so I posted that video on Instagram and it got thousands and thousands of views and tons of comments. Handle below, shameless plug. And a lot of the comments weren't that nice, right? And that's anything with social media. So I just wanted to take a minute to say, F you. Nah, I'm just kidding. It did get me thinking though, I should recreate this video, show it to you guys, and then walk through it step by step, because I think there's a couple reasons that happened the way that it did. And I'm all about learning from previous experiences. This is something I want to do going forward. So anytime that I'm with someone, or I wreck, or someone I'm with wrecks, and I'm able to catch it on film, is just be able to make a quick video on it and talk about why it happened and ways we could possibly avoid it in the future, just to help us kind of, I guess, all be better riders, right? Nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. Okay, so we watched like the put together clip ones. Now I want to show it to you from multiple angles. So we'll watch the helmet cam all the way through and then the other view all the way through. So they're like 15 to 20 seconds each. We'll just go from one to the other and then we'll talk about it and go step by step, frame by frame. Oh, scraping a little bit on that one. All right. Nope. Alright, so we've seen it from multiple angles now, and one thing I did forget to mention is, let me know if you like this idea in the comments down below, because as I said, I want to do this in the future going forward just so we can all learn from each other's mistakes. Alright, so we've seen it from all the angles. Now let's take it, I'm going to go into my video editing app, because I don't really know how else to break it down frame by frame, to be honest, and we'll go from there and talk about it. Now I got to be honest, the quality, because we're looking at a viewer that's not really rendered, it doesn't matter, but the point is the quality is not going to be quite as good on this picture, so I'll do what I can in post-production to make it look decent. Alright, so I got this up, like I said, I got to have it up in my actual editor, so I'm going to try and make the screen bigger so we can actually see it here, and then we'll go through it frame by frame. Now, as I start to go through this, I've got the audio off, obviously, on it, and one thing to note right off the get-go here is, as I've mentioned in previous videos, I have not been able to find a good way to represent how steep something is. So this is much steeper than it actually appears. Now, I realize when you watch it, it's like, oh, that doesn't seem that bad. But this was an extremely steep hill. And the other thing to remember is I was actually on a Honda 400EX. So I'm on a quad, right? I'm not on a super heavy machine or anything like that. All right, so we switch angles here. This kind of, I think, represents a little better as we start to come down. You can see the angles now. All right, this is where I think I screwed up first. I should have noticed this large rock pile about halfway down on the left side there, and I didn't really notice it, and that's the side I started on. I think that was mistake number one, because as I start to get closer, so we'll play it here, I sink over more on that side. Obviously another big mistake because I'm getting closer to it. And at this point, I'm starting to realize, all right, I'm way too far to the left. I need to get over. So I kind of get the vehicle recentered and then turn the wheels back to the right. Again, you can tell, like I'm going to go back there a little bit. You can tell it's steep because watch the back end as I try and take this turn. Nope, not far enough. You can see the back end kind of sliding. So right here, see, you can see the back end wanting to slide around. So one of the Instagram comments was actually, you're using your front brake too much. And that was really the point right there where I did use it a little too much. But right after that, I switched because I realized that as gravity was pulling the back end down because the front end was stopped. So, all right, we'll keep going. From there on out, I really didn't focus on the front brake at all. I pretty much only used the rear brake. So I'm trying to turn out of it now. We'll switch back to the helmet cam view. And you can kind of, again, see the rock pile off to the right now. There it is. And I'm going to try and maneuver to the right because I know for a fact there's zero way I'm going to make it down on the left side. Now, as I'm trying to figure out the direct or the best route, I'm kind of sneaking around real slow. And speaking of slow, so this is one of the comments that I got a couple times, and I don't know if I agree with it or not. And a couple people mentioned you should have just gone fast. So from right here, I could have given it some speed and hoped for the best. Now, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you agree with that or not? Because I'm really 50-50 to be honest. I think that had I have done that, it would have been a good chance I would have made it. But also with the steepness of the hill and all the rocks, I think if I just hit it, I could have very easily hit it wrong, hit the side, or hit another rock on the way down, and I still would have just tumbled anyway. But then I would have been tumbling at a greater rate of speed. So let me know what you think as you're kind of watching that. Keep that idea in the back of your mind, because I'm definitely going slow, right? I understand that. All right, so I'm slowly getting around to the left. Now, the right tire, so on the left side, you can see is definitely, as we're going here, it's definitely going further down than the right. You know what I mean? So as you can see right there, and I think that weight shift is really what screwed me. I almost think I should have tried to find a way to bend around the rock a little bit more. If I could have from here, so if I back up a little bit, let's go back it up. Okay, so like from this point right here, if I would have angled, this is what I'm wondering, if I would have angled the tires to the right, and kind of, so towards the rock, if that would have helped bring the other side down a little bit more and keep this side up. Because right here, that's really where the weight, and I'm leaned back on the bike, right? I mean, my butt is back on the bike. So right about here, though, is where the shift of the weight just shifts too much with the, again, it's steeper than it looks, and gravity just took over, right? So I hit that, and you can see that weight transfer, and then just boom. And obviously, I put my foot down because I'm going to try and push the bike back to the ground. It couldn't happen. And then we're rolling, and see it's rolling on that left tire. That's why I wonder if I would have just been able to turn into it a little bit more, if maybe I would have been able to alleviate this whole thing. So at this point, at this point it's gone. I'm just trying to get away from it, right? Move away from it. It got me on the back legs, but thankfully it's a quad, and it didn't hurt too much. The rocks probably hurt me more than anything, really. And she's rolling. Again, it's on my legs. As I mentioned in the video where I actually showed this on YouTube originally, look at this. Does a little bounce, lands upright. It was totally fine. I mean, that's one thing I love about Hondas. This bike is totally fine. Not even a piece of plastic was cracked on this. Now, the handlebars were bent down a little bit on the right side, not the handlebars, the brake. So, I just pulled it back up. It wasn't even really the brake, it was the mount itself. So I just pulled it back up, tightened it in a little bit when I got home, problem solved. And then I'm sitting there like, what the F, right? So I'm going to go ahead. This is pretty much the end of the video. And this will kind of, actually I'm going to show this. So this will kind of portray as I get up a little bit more on the gravity, because you can see even I'm slipping down. I mean, look at that. I'm trying to like almost climb up. I find a little bit of a flat spot, and then I'm talking to the camera here, so on and so forth. We'll just kind of skip ahead because I want to show you again when I stand up. Okay, so I stand up, and you can see I'm on a little bit of a flat spot, and I'm still, I'm sliding all over the place. It's a little icy out. It's super steep, so that's kind of the conditions. So that's really it. Let me know if you like the idea. Let me know what you think about how I could have done this differently. Like this video if you like it. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I look forward to talking to you in the comments below.